He burst onto the scene with a mischievous grin, a twinkle in his eye that hinted at the chaos he was about to unleash, and a knack for going viral. His content was a perfect storm of humor, audacity, and timing, capturing the attention of a generation glued to their screens. Jake Paul, the younger half of the notorious Paul brothers, quickly rose to fame on the now-defunct platform Vine. With just 6 seconds to make an impression, he mastered the art of quick, impactful content. His brand of outrageous stunts and comedic skits resonated with millions of teenagers worldwide. They found in him a kindred spirit, someone who dared to push boundaries and break the mold. He was the quintessential class clown, captivating audiences with his audacity and charm. His antics were not just about making people laugh. They were about creating moments that people would talk about long after the video ended. But Jake had bigger ambitions. He wasn't content with just being a social media star. He wanted to be a force to be reckoned with in the real world. He craved a stage beyond the confines of 6-second videos. The world of professional boxing, with its rich history and intense physical demands, called to him. And so, he set his sights on the world of professional boxing. It was a bold move, one that many thought was destined for failure. The announcement was met with skepticism from hardcore boxing fans and seasoned athletes. They couldn't fathom how a YouTuber could possibly compete in a sport that required years of dedication and training. They saw him as an interloper, a social media star trying to buy his way into a sport steeped in tradition and grit. The boxing community was not ready to embrace him with open arms. Undeterred, Jake entered the ring, his confidence unwavering. He knew that he had to prove himself, not just to his fans, but to the entire boxing world. He trained relentlessly, his physique transforming as he honed his skills. Hours in the gym, countless sparring sessions, and a diet that would make most people cringe became his new normal. His early opponents, fellow YouTubers and retired athletes, served as stepping stones. Each fight was a learning experience, a chance to refine his technique and build his confidence. With each victory, Jake silenced his critics, proving that his foray into boxing was more than just a publicity stunt. He was serious about the sport, and his dedication was beginning to show. His victories, often achieved by knockout, sent shockwaves through the boxing community. People who had once dismissed him were now forced to acknowledge his growing prowess in the ring. The self-proclaimed problem child was quickly becoming a legitimate contender, attracting pay-per-view buys and headlining major events. His fights were no longer just spectacles. They were must-watch events. Jake's brash personality and trash-talking antics only added fuel to the fire, turning him into a polarizing figure. Love him or hate him, people couldn't stop talking about him. He had successfully crossed over from the digital realm into the world of professional sports, but his meteoric rise would soon be overshadowed by a series of scandals that threatened to derail his career. These controversies, ranging from personal missteps to public feuds, cast a shadow over his achievements and left many wondering if he could maintain his newfound status in the boxing world. The year was 2023. It was a time when the world of boxing was experiencing a resurgence in popularity, thanks in part to the rise of social media influencers stepping into the ring. Jake Paul, a YouTube sensation turned professional boxer, was scheduled to face off against a seasoned boxer, a veteran of the sport with years of experience and numerous titles under his belt. This fight was touted as Jake's biggest test yet, a true measure of his skills and determination. The promotional posters were everywhere, hyping up the event as a clash of titans. However, as the event drew closer, whispers began to circulate. These weren't just idle gossip. They were persistent rumors that hinted at something far more sinister. Rumors of impropriety, of backroom deals and under-the-table agreements, cast a pall over the highly anticipated event. The excitement was tinged with a sense of unease. The boxing world was abuzz with speculation. Fans and analysts alike were trying to piece together the truth. Then, the news broke, sending shockwaves through the community. A prominent boxing official came forward with explosive allegations during a hastily arranged press conference. The room was packed with journalists, all eager to hear what he had to say. He claimed that Jake Paul, or someone from his camp, had attempted to bribe him. The official's words were clear and damning, leaving little room for misinterpretation. The goal of this alleged bribe was to influence the outcome of the fight, to ensure that Jake would emerge victorious regardless of his performance in the ring. The accusation sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Fans were outraged, feeling betrayed by a sport they loved. Pundits were up in arms, their discussions on television and social media filled with anger and disbelief. The integrity of the sport was called into question. Could boxing, a sport already marred by past controversies, survive another scandal? Jake vehemently denied the allegations. In a press statement, he expressed his shock and disappointment at the accusations. He maintained his innocence, claiming that he was the victim of a smear campaign orchestrated by jealous rivals threatened by his rapid ascent in the boxing world. The scandal cast a long shadow over Jake's career. Every move he made was scrutinized, every victory questioned. Despite his protests, a cloud of suspicion hung over his every move. The public's trust was shattered, and rebuilding it seemed an insurmountable task. Even as he continued to win fights, the whispers persisted. Each victory was met with skepticism, each triumph tainted by doubt. Had Jake Paul, the charismatic kid who won over the internet, resorted to cheating to make it to the top? The question lingered, casting a long shadow over his achievements and leaving fans to wonder about the true nature of his success. The boxing community was divided. Some believed in Jake's innocence, citing his hard work and dedication. Others were convinced of his guilt, pointing to the allegations as proof of his deceit. The future of boxing seemed uncertain. Would the sport recover from this latest scandal, or would it be forever tarnished by the shadow of bribery and corruption? Jake, undeterred by the controversy, continued to train with determination. He vowed to clear his name and prove his worth in the ring. Fans watched with bated breath, hoping for a redemption story, a chance for Jake to rise above the scandal and reclaim his place in the sport. As anticipation built for his future fights, one thing was clear: the world would be watching, and the truth would eventually come to light. The bribery scandal had barely begun to fade from public memory when a new controversy erupted in 2024. This time, it struck at the very core of Jake Paul's athletic credibility. Accusations of steroid use surfaced, casting further doubt on his achievements inside the ring. A former sparring partner of Jake's broke his silence, claiming that he had witnessed Jake using performance-enhancing drugs. The accusations were explosive. They threatened to tarnish not only Jake's reputation, but also the legitimacy of his wins. Adding fuel to the fire, several prominent figures within the boxing community came forward with their suspicions. They pointed to Jake's rapid muscle gain and dramatic increase in power as potential red flags. The public, already skeptical after the bribery scandal, was quick to believe the worst. Social media became a battleground of opinions, with fans and critics engaging in heated debates. Jake, once again, found himself at the center of a storm. He vehemently denied the allegations, vehemently proclaiming his innocence. He attributed his physical transformation to rigorous training and a strict diet. To prove his doubters wrong, Jake volunteered to undergo rigorous drug testing by an independent agency. The results, he promised, would clear his name. However, for many, the damage was already done. The accusations chipped away at Jake's carefully constructed image. The specter of doubt loomed large, threatening to overshadow his accomplishments. In a candid interview, Jake opened up about the emotional toll the allegations had taken on him. He spoke about the sleepless nights and the constant scrutiny he faced. He revealed that his family and close friends were his pillars of strength during this turbulent time. Their unwavering support kept him grounded. Jake also highlighted his charitable activities and community work, emphasizing that he had always strived to be a positive role model outside the ring. Boxing analysts debated the long-term impact of the allegations on Jake's career. Some believed that his reputation could recover with time and transparency, while others were less optimistic. Despite the controversy, a significant portion of his fan base remained loyal. They believed in his innocence and continued to support him passionately. Jake channeled the negativity into his training, working harder than ever to prove his doubters wrong. His determination was palpable. The controversy also sparked discussions within the boxing community about the need for stricter regulations and more transparent drug testing protocols. Comparisons were drawn to past boxing scandals, with experts analyzing how those incidents had shaped the sport and its regulations. Jake reflected on his journey, acknowledging the mistakes he made, but also expressing hope for redemption and a brighter future. He outlined his future plans, including upcoming fights and initiatives to give back to the community. Jake was determined to rebuild his legacy. As anticipation built for his next fight, the boxing world watched closely, eager to see if Jake could rise above the controversy and reclaim his place in the sport. With a resolute look in his eyes, Jake Paul stood ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, determined to prove that his journey was far from over. The road to redemption would be long and arduous, but for Jake Paul, it was a path worth fighting for.